Anō nei ko te tuku parapara ki te wāhi tika. Dealing with waste is out of mind, out of sight for most people. But for the health and the well-being of our communities and papa tuanuku, we need to start looking at waste. Here at the Zero Waste Zone in Waitakere, there is an active learning centre striving to educate our rangatahi about the importance of recycling and repurposing all products. Ko tēnei wāhi miharo, this amazing space located in the Waitakere Refuge Station is a fun, hands-on learning centre for how we rethink waste as a resource and how we work together towards zero waste to landfill by 2040. Kōrero mai, why was the Zero Waste Zone set up in the first place?
In old Waitakere days, we had a real focus on the environment and working with our communities, and this is where we brought the two together. How do we talk to our children about waste, and how do we inform people about how they can just live a bit more lightly on the earth? And it felt good to bring them to a place and have that discussion right next to the landfill where all their waste was arriving.
So they could actually see what happened to their waste and then how it's processed and how we can recycle and reuse it.
Exactly.
So, e pēa rā tā koutou whiriwhiri, how did you decide what to include in the zone?
It's focused on making this useful for our tamariki, for our children. It has to be relevant for them. So this allows a classroom situation where people can be taught, or children can be taught about how rubbish works and how recycling works, but also hands-on. Have a look at the worms, have a look at the garden, have a look at what you do with compost, and also, just as importantly, have a look at how you can reuse waste. And we've got a workshop there where people, for the first time in their lives, might look at the fact that you can fix things.
How wonderful. And he a ngā tohu, what are the things that are reused and repurposed here?
So, as you can see, when you look around, it's quite easy for free, basically, to reuse wood, to reuse things that people didn't want, to make really lovely garden furniture, to, rebuild fences. So it's really good education to know what to do with our waste and getting kids when they're really young. And they're our passionate advocates, they're the ones worried about the plastic bags in the streams, and that just spreads that word naturally, rather than someone like me from council being finger-waggling and telling people, it's much more effective to get the children doing it.
So I did bring some compost for home. I do have a couple of big compost bins at home made from pellets.
Oh, fantastic.
And also, I thought I'd have a look at your worms and give them some kai.
Oh, they will love that.
So, Penny, how much waste do you think we can keep out by recycling and composting at home?
Pretty much half of many of our rubbish bins and rubbish bags is green waste and compostables. So that's half of your rubbish bin or rubbish bag that you could actually put into a compost bin like this, or dig into your garden to compost, and actually return all of that would go off to landfill to papa tuanuku as, good feed to get the soil growing and grow your veggies.
In terms of your job, what is your greatest passion in your mahi?
For me, our responsibility is to leave the earth in a better place than we inherited it. So for our children, for our mokos, we need to do everything we can to clean up those streams and rivers, to keep our harbours clean, and to keep that rubbish out of the ground.
That's amazing work that you do. Thank you so much for your mahi and looking after our environment and looking after the future generations, because we know the future belongs to them. So, ngā mihi nui ki a koe, Penny, thank you so much for your time. We've got a little koha here for you, which hopefully we can plant in the grounds.
Oh, what would be really lovely, because we've got our gorgeous children here, perhaps they could plant this with you, because they're the ones who are going to watch this grow and hopefully come back and visit it with their children. So, thank you. That is magic.
Toru te kautangata ka mahi tuaho. An average of 30 people volunteer and learn new skills here each week. Ara e waru rau haora mahi tuao. That adds up to 800 hours of work and a newfound purpose for many in the community.
Something really special that we found the other day.
What is it?
Well, it's a sewing box, but I have never seen anything like this. So we immediately kind of, wow, that's we're spending a little bit of time in. So it's got this lovely little pouch thing inside here, and then these lovely little cupboards.
This looks quite old.
Right out. Oh yeah, definitely really old.
And someone's donated this.
No, this was found in the trash, so somebody actually threw this one away.
Someone threw this in the rubbish?
Yeah.
So what is your job here, John? We've heard you're called Green John.
Yeah, I'm the lead of the project, so we're a local community organisation, and we came up with this idea of being involved in the waste industry. Mostly we started as a way of getting people employed, especially a lot of people in our area don't have a lot of skills, so it's a really good industry to get in if you're just starting out or you wanted some training.
Sounds like a really vibrant place to work. I imagine like each day you don't know what you're going to get or what comes along or who comes along.
And that's one of the cool things about people coming and working here, because they see the amount of rubbish that's getting thrown out. And we often have that feedback from people that they're kind of like, oh man, I thought you guys were full of rubbish when I first when I first came here, but you've actually turned me into an environmentalist, or I've actually gone home and I've started composting and recycling because they're seeing what goes on, just every day, there's huge mountain loads of rubbish coming in, and how devastating.
So it does affect change. When people actually see what happens to the stuff they throw out, they're then thinking about their consumerism, what they need to buy, then what they need to throw out. That's
yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much for running this incredibly important place.
Oh, thank you.
And all the work you do, and having a chat with us.
Enjoy.
Ko te mea tino rawe ki au. So what I've really loved seeing today is the involvement with the community, getting kids in and rangatahi to have a look at what happens to our waste, using volunteers from the community to be involved so everybody gets a good idea of how we are using and reusing and repurposing stuff that we would normally throw away. There's a real sense of community here with a lot of heart and hope for the future.